This is the one thing that we all have in common, is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's up to us to make the best of that. What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So it seems like becoming a millionaire is one of these buzzwords we all hear growing up. This also seems to be the first threshold number that people think about when it comes to wealth. And what's surprising is that only 5% of US households are able to say that they're a millionaire. Even fewer if you account for individuals versus the household net worth, and even fewer than that have done it on their own and are completely self-made versus receiving any sort of inheritance. So the real number of individual self-made millionaires here in the US is likely somewhere around 1 to 2%. Now here's how I have done it and how you can do it as well. And most likely you're not going to be able to achieve this just by saving money. So here's a little background on me. I came from zero family money, zero inheritance, and even though I'm not going to tell you my exact net worth, I will tell you that it was over $1 million by the time I was 26. And even though I've had a fairly high income selling real estate as a real estate agent, I would not have been worth over $1 million had I not done a few of these very specific things. So to start in the bigger picture, it's really just a numbers game. And first off, it's going to be really difficult to save your way to $1 million. Think of it this way. If you're saving $50 every single day, it's going to take you almost 55 years to hit $1 million. And 55 years from now, $1 million with inflation is probably barely going to buy you a Big Mac. Even if you save $200 every single day starting today, it's going to take you 13.5 years to get to $1 million net worth. So unless you're earning a ton of money in a very short period of time, it's going to be very difficult just to save your way to $1 million. Now instead, the most efficient way to go about being worth over $1 million is to invest. Now of my total net worth, the money that I've made through my investments has contributed a significant amount to this number. It's not just about my work alone, but it's about my money making me more money. And at a certain point, you could only save for so long before you hit the wall of what you can do with your own time. You cannot just trade your time for money because there's a limit of how much you can do per hour for your time. This scenario will likely take you decades to realistically become a millionaire. You need to trade your money for more money, and that's going to cut down the time it takes dramatically. And this is how you're actually going to be worth over $1 million. Once you start letting your money make you even more money, you're going to start to see your net worth skyrocket after a few years. Eventually, the money that you're making through your investments is going to be huge in comparison to what you can do on your own with your time. But in order for you to make the most of this effect, you can't waste your money on stupid shit. This is why you can have someone who's earning $200,000 a year but who's constantly broke, or someone who's making $80,000 a year who's secretly ballin' because his investments are bringing him in even more money on top of what he's making. You can't just make $100,000 and live like you make $100,000. The secret to this is you make $100,000 and you live as though you're making $30,000. So with that said, don't be discouraged if you're not the type that's making over $100,000 per year. You can still become a millionaire, you could still do it, even if you're earning less than $100,000 a year. And here's how. So as an example, let's say you're earning $60,000 a year after taxes. If you keep your expenses at $3,000 per month, you should be able to save about $24,000 per year or $65 per day. Now, if you just save that $24,000 a year and you put it into a bank account, it will take you 41 years of doing that to actually hit $1 million. But if you invested that $24,000 a year and averaged an 8% return, that will only take you 17.5 years. You've just reduced the time it takes to become a millionaire by over 55% just by investing your money. Now, if you invested that same $24,000 a year and averaged a 10% return, which is about what I'm getting in real estate, you will become a millionaire in 15.5 years. That's by someone who's making $60,000 a year after taxes. Now, if you're earning $100,000 after taxes and you keep your expenses the same at $3,000 per month, you will become a millionaire by doing exactly that in 8.5 years. And if you're making $150,000 after taxes, you're looking at just about 5 years to become a millionaire. And from here, it's really just a numbers game. It's how much can you make, how much can you save, how much can you invest, and how long you can invest for. And that's really how simple it is. You don't need to make $250,000 or more per year to become a millionaire. You can definitely do it under $100,000 just by diligent saving and investing. And like I said, in order to make the most of that, invest and save everything you can. If you're making $100,000, don't live like you're making $100,000. Live like you're making $36,000 a year. Take my example, for instance. I make significantly more than $100,000 per year, and ask any one of my friends, they will tell you like I'm living like I'm a broke college kid. That's how crazy this is, but it allows me to invest a lot of my money and just continue to grow it. And this, you guys, is the cold, hard, unsexy, unglamorous truth of what it actually takes to become a millionaire. Now, what also significantly helps, and that's vital, is that you start doing this as soon as you can. If you start at 18 years old, saving just $5,000 per year at a 7% return, you're gonna be a millionaire by the time you're 53 years old. Now, if you started doing the exact same thing at age 30, saving $5,000 per year, you're only gonna be worth $358,000 by the time you're 53. That difference right there is significant. Now, on the other hand, if you didn't invest your money and you just saved $5,000 per year starting at the age of 18, it's gonna take you 200 years to save your way to $1 million. So you can see just how inefficient that is, that you have to invest your money if you ever want to be worth $1 million. And think about that for a second. 200 years of saving $5,000 per year. 200 years to be worth $1 million. Just think about that. Versus investing. 200 years versus investing. I don't know. Rather take investing. So then the question comes, what if you're not making a lot of money right now? Now, the thing is, to be a millionaire, you're gonna have to have $1 million, and to get the $1 million, you're gonna have to have some money to invest. There's really no way around it. Like, you can't have $1 million without having $1 million, and you need money to invest, so let's talk about this. Now, while you can absolutely become a millionaire by working a salaried 9-to-5 job and just saving and investing diligently, you can oftentimes dramatically cut down the time frame of becoming a millionaire by utilizing your time efficiently. Now, working in areas where utilizing your time efficiently leads to more money than utilizing your time for money is a great way to get a head start. Now, for me, that's been in real estate. I don't get paid a salary, I get paid for my results, which allows me to utilize my time as best as I can to make the most amount of money possible. I'm never paid for the amount of hours I work, instead I'm paid for the results. This means I can focus on the clients and the properties that generate me the most money, that give me the best results, that use my time in the best way I can, with zero busy work whatsoever, and allow me to focus then on other things that make me even more money, like real estate investing. So this could include anything that makes you passive income, anything online, anything that doesn't result in you putting in X amount of hours for X amount of dollars. It's just about leveraging your time, using it smartly, using it efficiently to make you even more money. And the unfortunate thing about a 9-to-5 salary is that your time is oftentimes directly correlated to how much money you make. And that if you work smarter and more efficiently, that doesn't always translate to more money in your pocket. So it's vital you do things that you can do efficiently, that you can leverage your time to make even more money, so that it doesn't matter if you put in 1 hour or 10 hours. Your time that you put in is independent on how much money you make. And that's one of the most important things I can mention in this video, is to use your time efficiently. Because this is the one thing that we all have in common, is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and it's up to us to make the best of that. Now, I also recommend thinking long term, because realistically, you're not gonna be worth $1 million from scratch in just the first few years, unless you get really lucky and maybe cryptocurrency like Ethereum and Bitcoin and all the things I didn't invest in when I should have. Or you strike a huge payday by selling a company. Now, beyond that, and speaking more so for a regular salary and for regular investing habits, it's not something that's gonna happen in just a few years. It's something that can happen long term. For almost everyone out there watching this right now, it's just a matter of saving and investing consistently. And that's really just what it comes down to, and then from there, it's just a numbers game. That's really all there is to it, and breaking it down in such a way makes it seem a lot easier to accomplish. Now, just a final thought here, but even though $1 million is a cool number to think about, a lot of people talk about becoming a millionaire, nothing really happened when I became a millionaire. I didn't feel better about myself. I didn't feel like I had finally made it. I didn't finally feel like, oh, that's done with. Nothing changed. And then life just goes on. It's not like you just hit this number and then you feel like you've made it, because I hit that number and it feels like this is just the beginning. And it just gets better from here, and it just continues onward. And even though it's cool to think about $1 million, it's really just some arbitrary benchmark that people throw around there. So I wouldn't be too concerned about trying to hit that $1 million and thinking it might solve all your problems and that you finally have made it. Instead, I would focus on the journey of becoming a millionaire and becoming that person that you really want to be. And in the bigger picture too, it's not really about having $1 million for the things that it buys, but it's really just about having the money to buy you the time. That's really the most important thing that I can see by making money. It's really just about your time and having the freedom to do what you want with your time and do things that you enjoy the most. That's really what all this is about. So don't go about this video just thinking, I need $1 million. How can I make $1 million? And make your whole focus $1 million. Trust me on this. It's about having the freedom and the time to do anything else you want in your life. And in order to do that, you're gonna have to have a few little sacrifices along the way in terms of just saving money and investing instead of going to the bar, every weekend and throwing up a $200 tab on the bar. So, as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was helpful. If you watched it to the very end and you haven't subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And also, do me a huge solid. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that notification bell so YouTube notifies you anytime I upload a video. You don't miss out on that. Don't worry, YouTube is not gonna hit you with a lot of notifications from me. I only post a few times a week, if that. And YouTube only sends out notifications half the time. So make sure to smash that notification bell. And if you also want to do me a huge favor, add me on Instagram and Snapchat. I post there pretty much daily. So if you want to follow me on there, I post cool stories and pictures and stuff. And so if you want to add me on one of those, feel free. And as always, you guys, these outros are getting longer and longer, I've noticed. But I read every single comment. There's not one comment that anyone has ever posted on my channel that I haven't read. Not even exaggerating on this. So any questions, comments, stories, anything you want to share down below, comment down below. I can't say do that for every DM on Instagram and Snapchat message. I read every comment. Every single comment without fail, I read them all. So make sure to comment down below. Thank you again for watching. This outro is way too long. Till next time.